And many members of Congress are furious with President Obama. He never consulted them before he made the Bergdahl prisoner swap for 5 Taliban. The Obama administration defending the trade, saying they would not leave a prisoner of war behind. An Air Force veteran and Representative Adam Kinzinger joins us. Good evening, sir.
Hey, Greta. Thanks for having me.
Your thoughts about the news today that he is being charged 2 charges. Everyone's talking about the deserter, but the misbehavior before an enemy is actually the more serious.
Yeah, it's basically saying he's putting people's lives at risk, and we know, in fact, that happened. And so, you know, not only, by the way, did the president not just consult us, he was obligated by law to notify us of this, and he didn't do that either. So this charge today is I think, very just, very deserved. We're going to see how this trial goes about. But at the end of the day, the bigger picture at this is this. We traded 5 of among the worst enemies of the United States and the Afghan people. We had the Afghan president here today talking about, you know, his country and the need to solidify that and secure it. We traded the 5 biggest enemies of Afghanistan and the United States for somebody that was a deserter. And I hope we learn a lesson from this, which is we can't negotiate again with terrorists.
But there is the thought we don't leave anyone behind, even deserters or anything else behind. So what would, I mean, I take it that even, let's assume that he's had a court-martial, let's assume he's been found guilty, let's assume he's a deserter and all those things. Would we still have left him behind?
Well, look, I went through Air Force survival training, and that's one of the first things they tell you is your country will never leave you behind, and we take a lot of heart at that. But it's a two-way street. Your country won't leave you behind, but you can never leave your country behind either. There's a lot of people, probably even in Bo Bergdahl's unit, that looked at the mountains and lustfully wanted to leave base and go out and explore, but at the end of the day, they knew they had a bigger obligation. So, look, the trial will take care of the justice for him, but at the end of the day, look, if they'd have sent a special forces team in to rescue him or something like that, that's one thing. But trading 5 of among the biggest enemies of the United States, and by the way, we're getting reports that at least 3 of them are starting their kind of pre-confinement activities again.
You know, the thing that bothers me about one of the things that bothers me about the 5 who were released is that they were to be monitored by Qatar for a year, and the whole idea was that they weren't being released, that they were being, quote, transferred. That was the biggest. I mean, I'll tell you, that was, you know, pulling a fast one on the American people, because I mean, they're going to be totally free in May, at the end of May. They can do whatever they want, but I actually believe they can now. They can just walk out of Qatar.
Well, and they can go back. They're not going back as just people that were in Gitmo. They're going back as, like, in essence, spiritual leaders of the whole resistance to the United States and the Afghan government. They were in Guantanamo Bay. I was in Guantanamo Bay a few months ago, and the president is so eager to shut that place down, and that's what he did with this trade. He got rid of 5 people in Guantanamo Bay, and he also was having really bad press with the rise of ISIS and everything, and he thought that getting this soldier back would cause the American people to forget about everything else in the world and praise him on his foreign policy, and it's really backfired.
There's been some bipartisan. It's not just Republicans who are angry that he didn't notify Congress according to the law.
Yeah, it's the law, and at the end of the day, Congress has a role to play. I get he's the commander-in-chief. He has a lot of leverage, but when we put into law that ultimately is signed by the executive branch, that he has to notify us, he has to come to Congress, yeah, we have a right to be not just upset on behalf of us being offended by what happened to Congress, but on behalf of the American people that put us there to defend what they want.
So why did he do it, do you think?
All right, look, I think
why did he fail to notify you?
I think because, he knew we'd say no. I think they brought this up before. Congress has said no before, and I think he knew if he notified us, the deal would probably be scuttled, and he didn't want to have to deal with that. He was having a lot of bad press, and at the end of the day, he didn't want that bad press anymore.
Congressman, nice to see you, sir.
Thanks.
And so